We begin tonight with comments from the Presidency over the outcome of last weekend's by-elections in Bauchi, Katsina and Kogi states. And they say the election results have placed President Muhammadu Buhari and the Vice President, Professor Yemi Osinbajo, in a vantage position to win next year's election. The Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Publicity, Garba Shehu, explains that Nigerians continue to show the level of confidence they have in the President and the Vice President.
Decisive victories is an indication, is a clear statement by Nigerians that Nigerians have spoken that President Buhari maintains and retains his momentum. That these big victories place the Buhari-Osinbajo ticket that won in 2015, places them in a very good stead for next year's election. It represents certainly a statement on the fact that the APC would go into election next year with every confidence that the election will be won. And that Nigerians, by this statement, are also saying that they no longer have time for politics of insult and diversion, mudslinging, and the monkey they walk, baboon they chop politics of PDP. And that equally important is also that these election victories are a clear message also to the National Assembly that all Nigerians are interested in is for the business of government to go on.
And staying with politics, the former Caretaker Committee chairman of the People's Democratic Party, Senator Ahmed Makarfi, says he's prepared to accept whatever decision the party makes concerning its presidential candidate for the 2019 election. Senator Makarfi, who pledged his loyalty to the PDP, gave reasons why he believes he would be a good choice for the presidential ticket. The former governor of Kaduna State was speaking in Benue City, the Edo State capital, during a visit to party members in the state.
I was a leading aspirant in 2007, but God, it wasn't time, and I remained in the party. I did what I had to do to continue to see that party continues to become victorious until what happened in 2015. So I believe I'm in the race because I believe I'm equally qualified. Others are equally qualified. I serve as governor and I serve creditably for 8 years. I serve in the Senate and I serve creditably for 8 years. I chair the party. Among the aspirants, I'm the only one that has experience of managing party at national level, which is not an experience you should throw away, because if you don't have semblance or synergy between the legislature, executive, judiciary on the government side, then with your party, you get even internal revolt and other issues which will stop you from governance. What issues can there be? When the ticket was not given to me in 2007, what did I do? So I will continue. If I leave PDP, it means I've retired from politics. You not see me leaving PDP and going to another party because of any political aspiration.
Meanwhile, the Senate President, Dr. Bukola Saraki, has met with former President Olusegun Obasanjo behind closed doors at his country home in Abeokuta, the Ogun State capital. The meeting lasted for more than an hour, with details of the discussion not disclosed, and the Senate President insisting it was strictly a private visit. The visit is coming less than 1 week after the Senate President visited the former military president, Ibrahim Babangida, at his home in Minna, Niger State.
I missed the opening last time when it was here. I promised Baba that I must come and see the library. It's beautiful. It's fantastic. We're proud of what he has been able to do here. It's really good to see it.
And the Court of Appeal sitting in Abuja has stopped the warrant of arrest issued against the chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, Professor Mahmood Yakubu, for alleged contempt of court. A three-man panel led by Justice Abdul Aboki suspended the enforcement of the arrest warrant in an appeal filed by Professor Mahmood, challenging the order made by Justice Stephen Pam of the Federal High Court. Justice Aboki held that since the matter has been adjourned to September the 17th for hearing of the main appeal, it will be prejudicial for the trial court to proceed with the hearing of the matter scheduled for August the 14th. The lawyer to the INEC chairman applauds the decision of the court.
This is a matter of grave judicial interest, a matter of grave political interest and democratic interest. Without judiciary, there can be no democracy. And without the rule of law, there can be no good governance. So our point is that there must be due process of law, and there must be obedience to court order and judgments. And in that wise, everything must be in accordance with the established due process of law. I mean, their lordships appreciate what we were talking about, and they have now stayed further proceedings in the High Court. They have also suspended the execution of the bench warrant issued by the judge, and we'll come back to argue our appeal on the 17th of September. But the truth of the matter is that their lordships have sacrificed their convenience, their time, and they have shown that judiciary is sufficient to sustain the democracy in Nigeria.
The co-convener of the Bring Back Our Girls campaign and convener of the Red Card movement, Mrs. Obi Ezekwesili, has criticized Nigeria's leadership recruitment process, describing vote buying as a criminality that must not be allowed to thrive in the 2019 general elections. Mrs. Ezekwesili maintains that the Red Card movement will mobilize citizens across Nigeria to resist vote buying during the election and ensure that those who engage in illegal acts are prosecuted. The Red Card movement was launched in May this year to mobilize citizens against politicians who have not kept their electoral promises in the past but are recontesting elective positions in the 2019 elections.
Begin to send a clear signal to what we have called you for. Is the core issue of leadership recruitment process. It is broken in our political process, and we as citizens are saying we will mobilize to fix it. There is the existing law has something about vote buying being a felony. Okay? So it's a felony. Our coalition is going to work on that and ensure that in 2019, anyone who is making the mistake of thinking that they would buy votes and then be elected into office to enjoy a political mandate that lacks legitimacy would know that they have citizens to contend with. So it's important that some of these laws that are not being enforced, shouldn't it be the case already that those who were caught buying votes in the Ekiti election should already be facing the consequences? Why do you think that sometimes these things don't get done? Because there's not a group of citizens enforcing it and putting pressure for it to be done.
To legal matters now, a Makurdi High Court has granted an ex parte order restraining the Speaker of the Benue State House of Assembly, Mr. Titus Oba, and 5 others from carrying out any legislative sitting and responsibilities pending the determination of the substantive suits. Justice Teresa Igoche, who had earlier restrained the impeached Speaker, Mr. Terkimbi Ikiange, while ruling on a separate motion ex parte brought by Mr. Ikiange, ruled that all parties to the suits must maintain status quo pending the hearing and determination of the substantive suits. Counsel to the plaintiffs say the motion ex parte became necessary because of the adjourned date of August the 15th, which the lawmakers on their last sitting on July the 10th agreed to reconvene before the 22 lawmakers moved for the impeachment of Mr. Ikiange and his principal officers on July the 24th. The substantive suit is also adjourned to August the 15th by the presiding judge for ruling on a number of prayers lawmakers, including the motion seeking to partially restrain Mr. Ikange as Speaker of the State Assembly after he was impeached by 22 of the 30 lawmakers in the Assembly. The National Assembly will not reconvene tomorrow, contrary to the announcement made last week by the Deputy Speaker of the House, Mr. Laston Yusuf. The Chairman of the House Committee on Media and Publicity, Mr. Abdul Razak Namdas, confirmed to Channels Television that the House would not be reconvening because there was no firm decision to that effect. The Deputy Speaker, Mr. Yusuf, had announced that the National Assembly would reconvene to consider the budget for the 2019 polls and other pending issues forwarded to the lawmakers by President Muhammadu Buhari in July. He spoke to the media shortly after the APC caucus meeting last week Thursday in Abuja, alongside the Minority Leader Femi Gbajabiamila and other APC lawmakers. The Speaker of the House, Yakubu Dogara, did not attend the meeting. The National Assembly has been on recess since July the 24th.
We are working towards resumption, but not tomorrow specifically. If you listen to the remark of the Deputy Speaker, he said some leadership met and they're likely that will resume Tuesday or Wednesday. He's talking of likely. So but I want to tell you that the entire leadership this time around, not just some, the entire leadership will meet and a definite decision will be taken, because the National Assembly, as you know, runs a bicameral legislature made up of the House of Representatives and that of the Senate. So I think for us to do anything jointly, and we need to be on the same page, that is the two arms, the two legislature. So I think we will achieve that, and I think very soon, either this night or so, our leaders will be meeting on this matter, and we will make it known to Nigerians when exactly we are resuming, but certainly not tomorrow.